An intimate and carefully curated private memorial-style gathering was held in a quiet, art-filled venue in London to honor the extraordinary legacy of David Hockney. The atmosphere was deeply emotional yet elegant, with soft lighting reflecting across walls covered in some of his most iconic works. David Hockney passed away peacefully at the age of 88 after a long period of age-related health complications. According to close sources referenced in the tribute setting, he spent his final days surrounded by close companions and art collaborators in a calm environment. While official confirmations remained limited at the time of the gathering, the memorial was described by attendees as a celebration of closure, marking the end of an era in contemporary art. The emotional weight of the announcement was felt immediately inside the venue. Guests stood in silence as they processed the news, many visibly moved as they walked through rooms filled with decades of artistic evolution. From early portrait studies to his groundbreaking California swimming pool series, and later experimental digital iPad creations, the exhibition had been arranged chronologically to reflect the journey of his life. Among those present were leading curators, international art collectors, museum representatives, and artists who had been directly influenced by Hockney's work. Each guest carried their own connection to his legacy, and many described the evening as one of reflection rather than farewell alone. It was a moment to revisit how deeply his vision had shaped modern visual culture. As visitors moved through the gallery, the emotional tone grew stronger. One section displayed his early works, where his mastery of structure and form was already visible. Another section highlighted his California years, where vibrant color palettes and open compositions redefined how audiences viewed everyday life. The swimming pool imagery, in particular, became a focal point of discussion, symbolizing both freedom and stillness in a uniquely visual language. Further inside, a dedicated digital space showcased his later works created using modern technology. These pieces demonstrated how Hockney embraced innovation even in his later years, refusing to remain bound by traditional artistic tools. Many attendees noted that this phase of his work proved his belief that creativity should evolve continuously, regardless of age or convention. Following the circulation of reports about his passing, tributes began pouring in from across the global art community. Museums, galleries, and private collectors shared reflections on how Hockney's work had influenced not only painting, but also photography, stage design, and digital creativity. Social platforms quickly became filled with emotional messages, as admirers revisited his most iconic pieces. Inside the venue, one of the most emotional areas was a screening section displaying interviews and archival footage. In these recordings, Hockney spoke about observation, light, and the importance of truly seeing the world rather than simply looking at it. Many guests remained seated for long periods, watching silently as his voice played across the room, creating a sense of presence despite absence. As the evening continued, conversations among guests became more reflective. Rather than focusing only on loss, many spoke about transformation, how Hockney's work had continuously evolved across decades without losing its identity. His ability to move between traditional painting and modern digital expression was repeatedly highlighted as one of his most defining strengths. Attendees also reflected on how rare it is for an artist to remain culturally relevant across such an extended period. From the 1960s British art movement to global exhibitions in the 21st century, Hockney's presence in the art world had remained constant, yet ever-changing. His career was described by many as not just long, but continuously alive with experimentation. In another corner of the venue, guests shared personal memories of encountering his work for the first time. Some spoke about how his use of color had changed their understanding of emotional expression, while others explained how his perspective techniques influenced their own creative practices. The gathering gradually became a shared storytelling space, where art history and personal experience merged. Even though the event carried the tone of a memorial, It was also described as a celebration of influence. Instead of focusing only on endings, the evening highlighted continuity, the idea that Hockney's work would continue to inspire future generations of artists, designers, and thinkers. As the night progressed, the lighting inside the venue was gradually softened further, creating a calm and almost dreamlike atmosphere. Guests moved slowly, as if reluctant to leave the space. Some stood in front of specific paintings for long periods, revisiting details they may have seen many times before but now viewed through a different emotional lens. Outside the gallery, conversations continued in small groups. Many attendees expressed that the experience had felt less like attending an event and more like entering a timeline of memory. The emotional impact was not rooted in sadness alone, but in gratitude for a lifetime of artistic contribution. David Hockney's legacy, as reflected in this private tribute gathering, remains one of the most influential in modern art history. His work continues to shape how people understand color, perspective, and visual storytelling across generations and cultures. And as guests slowly departed into the night, there was a shared understanding that what they had experienced was not simply a farewell, but a recognition of something much larger, a creative journey that continues to exist through every canvas, every digital experiment, and every artist inspired by his vision. In the end, the gathering stood as a reminder that true artistic legacy does not conclude with time. It continues, evolves, and lives on through the eyes of those who keep seeing the world differently because of it.